Welcome back to GNR This Week in Geopolitics. Today we will be discussing the leaks of US documents, border skirmishes between Armenia and Azerbaijan, and a possible North Korean famine? What? Stay tuned. First, the leaked US government files. Well, of course, this is nothing new. We have heard about them for the last couple of weeks, but now we have had a couple of new leaks that are very important. But first, we'll cover the basics. The first files were spread in a Discord group called TWG Central, where about 300 files were posted. This then was posted on Wow Mouse, a very popular meme YouTube channel's Discord server, and from there they went to Minecraft Earth map, then to Poll, then to Telegram, where they were shared in multiple pro-Russian groups, and from there they made it to Twitter on the 5th of April. This has essentially made it so the number of files that were actually seen in the first few days were only a small part, as only 30 made it to Wow Mouse Discord server, and from there on the number decreased. But still, the information that was gathered in the first few documents were instrumental to understanding a lot of what has happened in the last few months, as we have found out that the US has basically completely undermined the Russian state apparatus and has spies everywhere, and is apparently better informed about what Russia is doing than about what Ukraine is doing, as Ukraine has been somewhat secretive. But also, US has been spying on their allies, most notably Ukraine, United Kingdom, South Korea, and Israel. Further, the US doubts that the Ukrainian spring offensive that has been so hyped up over the last few weeks will succeed in much, citing the lack of resources as a big problem. We've also gotten US estimates of casualties, while there have been two versions that have been posted, one altered by the Russians and one original. Both of these numbers are not to be taken that seriously, as the US even itself said that these are just very rough estimates and the idea or chance that they are accurate is relatively low. Further, we can also assume that these documents are most likely real, as both the United States and Russia has acknowledged these documents. The Ukraine, though, doesn't seem to think that these are legit documents. Another point that is also in favor of them being legit is that the United States has, after a week-long witch hunt, finally caught the person that leaked these documents on the TWG Central Discord group. This being 20-year-old Jack Texera, a Air National Guardsman from Massachusetts. He was arrested by FBI agents in the last couple of days. But what new information has surfaced from these documents? Well, the most important one is that in early February, China intended to supply Russia with military weapons. This was supposed to be done by disguising them as civilian items and then shipping them to Russia. But this did not manifest. There is no evidence that China has actually sent them weapons. And further, China has also denied that this took place and that they were intending on sending them weapons. While if this is true, this would suggest that China, contrast to perception of the last couple of months, is not distancing itself from Russia, but actually intends to support Russia in its war against Ukraine. This obviously stands in contrast to the way Xi Jinping has tried to portray himself as being a person that tries to support peace. Further, the new leaks have also shown that the Russian special forces have been close to decimated, as out of a deployment of 900 soldiers, only 125 are still in action. Over the last couple of weeks, there have been many reports that have suggested that North Korea is going through another wave of famines. Of course, this is nothing new, as North Korea, even in the last couple of decades, has experienced famine. The biggest one being in the 1990s, where higher estimates say that about 3 million people died. This has come as a result of fundamental mismanagement of the North Korean economy, as the North Korean government allocates most of the country's revenue towards its nuclear program and its military, as around 10 billion of its 25 billion GDP go towards its army. This is of course just one estimate, it is not official, but it gives you an idea of how mismanaged this is. In addition, the situation currently is only worsened by the COVID lockdown. While before COVID, the situation was not good, it still allowed for substantial Chinese imports of food, as around 50 million tons were imported into North Korea from China. Secondly, North Korea itself is not an agricultural country. Even though a large amount of people in North Korea work in the agriculture sector, the amount of agriculture that can be done in North Korea is very limited, as North Korea is a very mountainous country that does not have that much good soil. This generally limits the amount of food that can be harvested in North Korea. Further, the equipment that many North Koreans use is outdated and poor and insufficient. This often results in hard labor taking the place of such equipment. This isolationist posture and constant mismanagement of the economy has resulted in a situation where a new famine could cause the death of millions. A sign of how desperate this situation might be is that North Korean leader Kim Jong-un held a 4-day Workers' Party meeting in which he discusses the complete revamping of the agricultural sector in North Korea. More specifically, he talked about a fundamental transformation of the agricultural sector. On the 11th of April, multiple border skirmishes were reported in southern Sunyak province, reportedly claiming the lives of 4 Armenians and 3 Azerbaijanis. This has been the biggest border skirmish since last September, where fighting occurred in actual Armenia, not just in the Republic of Artsakh. This itself was a sequel, you could say, to the main event, which was the Second Nagorno-Karabakh War, where Azerbaijan managed to take back a big chunk of the Armenian-occupied part of Azerbaijan that they claim is an autonomous region, the Republic of Artsakh. Well, of course, the border skirmishes on the 11th of April aren't anything major. It still shows that the war over the Republic of Artsakh has not ended and will continue, as both sides want to reclaim their territory and they're willing to do anything for it. We also see a video of Armenian military police shutting down a road to the town of Tekke, where fighting occurred. Thank you for listening to GNR This Week in Geopolitics. Have a wonderful day. God bless.